Well, folks, we owe you a big apology for either keeping you up late or getting you up early. But we tried for 13 minutes to get our live stream working, and it just wasn't happening, so we decided to do the video, and I'll post it later today. So, with that said, and me groveling, finished.
It's my fault.
Yeah, it's his fault. His fault. Anyway, I'm here again with his fault, Damian, and it's a nice day here in Chiang Rai. The weather's cool, smoke is gone. We had a little rain this morning.
I got some up on the hill. You got some too?
Yeah, pretty heavy actually. It was good. It watered the garden.
Yeah, we're at your favorite spot here, Li Hu Cafe, and there were like some birds that were flying up around in the eaves up here for a minute. It was just kind of lovely, and it's cool, and so I'm wearing my rain jacket just in case.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I noticed that bloody kangaroo on there.
Yeah, it's I got this at the night market here in Chiang Rai, and you always want the great thing. You ever use Google Translate?
Oh, very rarely.
Oh, no, yeah, you're so good with the language. But here, it also works with Japanese, and so there was some Japanese text on here, and so I pointed the camera of Google Translate on it to find out what it said on this jacket. Would you like to hazard a guess?
I can't wait.
It says here we go, highest quality women's thighs. I don't think Google was spot on with that one.
Well, it might have been, because my daughter is going to be going to university in about 10 days.
All right.
So I ordered her a watch,
Okay.
a nice watch as a university starting present.
Nice.
And it said it was a woman's watch. Well, when it got there, the dial was about this bloody big, and the band was about, so wide, and it was really long. It fell off her wrist. It wasn't even a lady's watch. It was a men's watch. Well, anyway.
Send it back.
Anyway, listen, what are we talking? We're not here to talk about that. Look, we're here because Damian, when he first got back from Chiang Rai, from America, see, my memory sucks. When he first got back from America, he made this post. The very first thing I saw was that he said there was 10 jet-lagged observations of after visiting the USA after living in Thailand for a year. I think I got that right. And unlike his normal verbal skills, which we're all familiar with, these were very brief. And so I didn't want to ask him on the phone because it'd just run up my damn bill. So I asked if he'd be willing to do a video and we can talk about it for free. And he agreed. So here we go. So now, as I said, it's 10 observations, and you know how Damian, he likes to talk, right? Yeah, So put yourself on pause now. Go get a beer and some pretzels and get comfy. Now, Damian.
Yes.
I've got the list you posted.
Good, because I forgot where they are.
I've got the list, and unless you want to say something first, I'd like to ask you about each of these observations. But first, I wanted to ask you about that Kanga shirt, but you've already told me.
I was excited to tell you.
Okay, so
All right. Well, happy Buddha Day.
Yeah, Vishabhuka.
Yeah,
Vishabhuka Day.
Today is one of the most celebrated Buddhist holidays.
Yeah, it's the most important Buddhist festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't buy beer and pretzels. We can get pretzels today, but they won't allow you to buy beer.
Yeah, and the pretzels will be stale anyway.
Yeah. So what do you got? What do I got?
Well, look, the first thing you said on that list was meal portions.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
do you mean they're too big, too small, too expensive? What do you mean?
Well, I did spend some time staying at my mom and dad's place, and my mom's an excellent cook. But even she doesn't make meal portions like you get in some USA restaurants. They're just, I would say, double the size of what I've come to expect here in Thailand. And I found myself just continuing to shovel it in. So, restaurants and that, it was just really big. I put on some pounds in the U.S. But, we do that sometimes when we're traveling. We kind of are not strict on our diets and not hitting the gym as much because it's not as convenient. But yeah, I just found that just the meal portions in general, I was eating like an American again. Where after a year here in Thailand, I was just used to smaller meals, and my stomach maybe shrank a little bit, but it certainly expanded in the U.S. And where, sometimes and it's common in the U.S. that we'll get what we call a doggy bag or a to-go box, right, for what we're not going to finish. But I'm catching up with an old friend or something at a restaurant, and I just kept eating. And so yeah, I came back and I noticed I went to a Thai restaurant for some of that wonderful Thai food that I missed so much, and I'm like, oh, I'm still hungry. It's because it stretched my stomach living in the U.S. for a little bit. So yeah, meal portions are bigger, and that's not always a good thing.
Is it value for money with all this extra food? I mean, are you paying for what you don't want, basically?
That's a good question. I would say you are a little bit. That you're because a lot of times prices are so high right now in the U.S., and we'll talk about that with inflation. One of the other points I made, but restaurants. The meal portions. I don't think that hasn't changed much. The prices have changed, but not the meal portions, which have always been kind of large.
So it's a bit like ice creams. The prices have stayed the same, but the portions have gone down.
Yes,
but in your case, the portions have stayed the same, but the prices have gone up.
Yep. Yeah, that's the case.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next one. Freebies. What do you mean, freebies?
Freebies. Oh, things that you're used to getting for free. Here in Thailand, a couple of things I could think of is when you're at the airport and you need to get a cart to because you got some extra luggage, or you just you have to go a long way. So Bangkok airport, or even here in Chiang Rai, just grab a cart. Right there, you got to pay $6 or $7. Yeah,
$6 or $7.
Yeah, it's a vending machine. And
they'd pay for the damn thing with every 4 rentals, wouldn't they?
I'll tell you what, it's like airport park. Parking's another one. Parking at places where at the airport or other places where it's just like, oh, you just park. There's room. There's so you're not going to pay for parking in a lot of cases here in Thailand. But yeah, it's like they call it nickel and diming you to death. To that, where you've just got a fee for this and a fee for that, and it adds up, when you're traveling.
Just from my memory, I went to the States in 2018, and I parked my car at Chiang Rai Airport.
Oh, okay.
For a month.
A month? Wow.
Yep. Yeah. Have a stab at what that cost me.
I don't know.
200 baht.
200 baht. So that's about $6.
About $5.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and so, you can get nickel and dimed, and it's like if you're at a restaurant, and you say, oh, I'd like a salad with that, a dinner salad or something, and in Thailand they're just going to bring that, or you get order some pad krapao and they bring you a little bowl of soup with it, a little cup of soup. It's just little extras, little things, some cucumbers on the side, just kind of nice stuff. Where it's like you order that, and that's like that's a side dish, and you got to pay for that. So just those little things that add up of what you're used to getting for free. You get dinged there in the U.S. Very common.
And let me ask you a question. This soup that you get on the side.
Yeah.
How do you consume it?
I just slurp it right out of the little cup.
Yeah, with a spoon, or
well, it depends.
Or do you drink out of the cup?
Well, if I was in Vietnam, I would hold the cup like this.
Yeah.
Dump it into my mouth like they do with their rice sometimes. But around here, the spoon is the number one utensil.
Oh yes, it is.
It is,
but not for soup.
I just drink it out.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, how do you?
It is for soup.
Yeah.
I got. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, I got picked on the other day.
Chastised.
Chastised. That's the one I was looking for. Because I picked the bowl up and I drank from the bowl.
Okay.
And I was told in Thailand that is culturally unacceptable.
Really?
The Chinese do it.
Oh,
but
okay.
we don't.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, I stand
just
corrected too. I just got
tidbit.
chastised.
I just learned this the other day. You know, there are so many little things, and I'm not going to be. I won't take over. But you know, recently I got chastised for hanging pants above other clothes. And so then I hung the pants down below the other clothes.
Okay.
And I got chastised because the clothes I hung up the top were hung too high. So I don't hang clothes out anymore. Good lesson for you
get a
guys.
dryer.
Good lesson. I got a dryer.
Okay.
I just don't like putting everything in there. Okay. Lack of humidity.
Oh, yeah.
That was your next point.
Yeah, you know, there are some areas in the U.S. where you might even say it's not the heat, it's the stupidity.
It's like here, it's not the potholes, it's the assholes.
So I don't know. The first thing that hit me when I got off the plane in my former hometown of Reno, Nevada, which is high desert, so it's lack of humidity, very low humidity. As soon as I got off the plane, and my brother's there to pick me up, bless his heart, and I look at the mountains and the razor sharp edges of the views, the Sierra range there, and you can see so very far away. And just a little bit of humidity here in Thailand, you get used to it, and you get used to not being able to see so far and so clear. So it's like everything just had it was like if you made an adjustment on your device, however you're viewing this video right now, and you crank the contrast all the way up, so it was just really hard contrast. That was something that after living here for a year in Thailand, I noticed. Yeah, it was the most significant thing I noticed as soon as I got there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And which is more appealing, the sharpness or the blurry?
Both for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a beautiful view is a beautiful view. So, yeah.
Well, that's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. Okay, now this one confused me for a bit, and then I remembered. Pinball, of all the things in the world, pinball. God love me, I don't know anybody played pinball in the last 50 years.
It's back, baby.
Is it back,
yes,
is it?
It's pinball is so fun. Maybe because a lot of people my age, we remember it from when we were kids.
Tilt.
Yeah, tilt. Yeah, when you hit it too hard. There is like a thriving pinball community in a lot of U.S. cities right now, and Reno is exceptional in that regard, where you've got bars with maybe 20, 40 pinball machines that are extremely well maintained. And before I left for Thailand a year ago, I was part of a group. We'd meet once a week or so and have friendly competitions, and super friendly competitions. Really supportive, a good game. We're all patting each other. The guy who gets the worst score wins a free beer. But yeah, it was just lots of camaraderie and fun, and something really can't master. But it brings back good memories for me, and the machines have just gotten so good over the years. And it's something that is very hard to find in Thailand. There's a pinball app. I forget the name of the app, but it's a map where you can find pinball machines anywhere around the world. Would you like to know how many pinball machines were showed up in the app for all of Thailand? Can you guess?
Well, it wasn't on the top of my questions list, but how many?
5. There are
5
and I think 4 of which are in Bangkok. So you have to hop a plane and go there. And they're in a mall and they're not necessarily well maintained. But still, it's pinball and it's fun. But yeah, I miss the pinball arcades in the U.S. and that's something that when I go back, it's one of the first things I'll do again.
Now this next one, I think I pretty well understood it, and I'm with you on this one. Unsolicited political opinions. But before you start talking, I want these people to know I'm not speaking for you, okay? I'm speaking for me.
Okay.
I personally have no interest in political
in what
conversations, religious conversations. Okay. No interest. But Damian, what was this about?
Ray.
Yeah.
Are you sure you have no interest?
Yeah.
No, really, Ray. I want to talk about politics.
Well, talk to somebody else.
No, Ray. I want to talk to you about politics right now.
Well, look, you go ahead and talk, and I'll watch television.
That's the USA right now. My gosh, I mean, it seemed like a lot of friends, family, people like that, and they have the news blaring all day long, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I don't have a dog in this fight. I fold, and I have very much enjoyed being. Well, ignorance is bliss, right? It's kind of like when you're riding your motorbike around Chiang Rai or any place in Thailand, and all of the billboards are in a different language. And so it's just like a guy with a cell phone going, hey, I like my cell network, yeah. It doesn't matter to me, and I can't read the text on the billboard, so it doesn't matter to me. And I've gone to great pains to insulate myself from a lot of the political discourse. But my gosh, what a very lively pastime it is right now, and it's election year. So I just I smiled and I nodded and I let people vent about politics, and okay, and then they still weren't done, so I smiled and I nodded. And they didn't want to know, even if I had an opinion. They didn't want to know my opinion. They just wanted to talk about politics. So, I don't know. It's good to be away from it. It's good to have a break. And I won't be going back until maybe next year, after the political season and everything in the USA.
You know what I find the saddest part about all this political chatter and so forth is that most of these people that are out there doing the talking probably won't vote.
Oh.
And many of them out there doing the talking are not talking from their own experience, their own knowledge. They're just regurgitating what some, no, that word would be profanity, what some jerk on CNN or some other channel has told them. And that's their knowledge.
It's a lot like, in cases like that, it's like talking to somebody who says, I'm moving to Thailand, man. Tell me all about it. I want to pick your brain. Do you have your passport? No, I'm going to get one, though. Wait, you don't have a passport? We're talking about international travel? No, let's wait until you get your passport. So anyways, how's that? Are we done with politics? Can we move on?
Yeah, I'll only make one other comparison. At least you're lucky in the States that people don't have to vote.
Oh,
so a lot of the ones that aren't capable don't. But in Australia, it's compulsory.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You must vote. It's mandatory.
Okay.
So all of the idiots must vote. Okay. The next one you mentioned in your one word, oh no, it was a bit longer than that, was prices.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just want to say to all my friends and family in the USA, I am sorry that you guys are going through this massive inflation. It's weird from my perspective to go there, and I was just hemorrhaging money, just to take out, some friends or family for a dinner or a little breakfast, and just the prices of everything. Oh, gee, I need a new toothbrush. Well, you're just going to pay so much more in the U.S. and they say Thailand is expensive to get to. Yeah, well, you've got your flight, but once you get here, you get so spoiled. Are you spoiled by prices here?
Yeah.
I mean, a third to a half of what you pay for a lot of items and services, especially services.
Yeah,
services are really inexpensive.
Especially here. Services, especially housing. But there are some things that you won't get cheaper here than you will in the States.
Well,
like beauty products.
The good news is beauty products, right? Because I know you run up a pretty good tab with those.
I do. I mean, I need a lot. I've got conditioners and God knows what else.
Max Factor doing your makeup for these?
No, Max Factor. That was what was her name? Max Factor. Elsie somebody, wasn't it?
I don't know, man.
Well, Max Factor anyway.
So where were we? Oh yeah, prices. Okay, so here's the thing. As soon as I moved here, you're always kind of mentally calculating the Thai baht to the U.S. dollar, and it's usually around a third. So you're close on a third. So what I'll do is if something is say 120 baht, you take a zero off. So now it's 12. Divide by 3. Okay, so it's about what?
4.
4. Yeah. So $4. And so what happened is when I was doing those mental calculations and you know, just spending money to live day to day here in Thailand, I found that a dollar meant something again. A U.S. dollar meant something again. That it had some buying power, the kind that I remember from my youth, of it being a buck. What's a buck? You know, and $20 is a buck, and $100 is a lot of money. Whereas it just doesn't feel like in the U.S. where you just, you know, you spend that kind of money. So I hope there's some good news on the horizon. I hope that things improve with inflation, and I just want to say that for those that are thinking about becoming an expat to a country like Thailand, where the dollar is a lot stronger, so be thankful for that if you have a pension income or something, or some kind of indigenous income that is coming from the U.S., that your dollar is still very strong here. So once you pay to get here, it gets pretty good.
Yeah. It's been up and down like a honeymooner's pants over the last couple of years. But
is that an Australian thing?
But I think when I checked the other day, it was like 37 baht.
Yeah.
But it bounces between 30 and, you know.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen it at 37.
37's respectable.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, I can relate to this next one too, because I know what you mean. Stress.
Oh.
You mentioned stress.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in our last video we did, I mentioned that there was this kind of dull hum of stress that I could just feel. I don't know if it was me. You know, of course, there's more road rage going on. People get their blood up. You know, a lot of them when they're driving cars. And I had borrowed a car from a family member, and so I was driving around. But getting used to driving on the right-hand side of the road, that was like passenger to the curb. Passenger to the curb. Yeah, so I'm reminding myself constantly to try and not make a mistake or have a close call. So, but yeah, just I had this feeling, and I don't know, maybe it's some ineffable human connection. Maybe we're like honeybees or something, where we're doing some kind of nonverbal communication among each other. But when I was in the U.S., there was just this tingling of stress all the time. And as soon as I came back to Chiang Rai here in Thailand, it disappeared immediately. There's something about just the warm smile, the direct eye contact. The way I described it to a friend in the U.S. is, I looked at her dead in the eye. I said, in Thailand, this is normal. I know that I'm already creeping you out because I've looked you directly in the eye for more than 4 seconds. Yeah. But I'm just smiling and talking to you. I'm not a threat. In Thailand, they're okay with it, and it warms the heart, and I did miss it. Yeah. But I found when I was in the USA, I got back into my old thing of like, you know, hey, how's it going? And you look away. Nah. You know, it just, you don't. It's too. It invades people's space if you're too direct. If you're smiling for no reason. Yeah. Yeah. What are you up to? What do you want from me? Yeah, they're
what
on
are you
edge
looking
about
at?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you looking at me?
Yeah.
That's a real problem. Yeah, now you're going to make me salivate when you answer this one.
Oh.
Meat. You said meat.
I've been called worse.
Have you?
Meat quality. In my opinion, the chicken and the pork that you're served here in Thailand is unsurpassed. Is really good, really flavorful, fresh. You get the feeling there's not a lot of hormones in it because that chicken just crossed the road, and eggs too, really good. But I do find that the beef and the lamb, especially imported Australian lamb, are far superior in the U.S. Just tastier, and for those that do partake. And so, for example, I had barbecued Australian lamb that my mother prepared, and I had one of those foodie moments when I'm looking up at the sky going, I can't believe this tastes this good. Because I think that even the imported Australian lamb and beef that they get here, they're supposedly a higher quality, it's still not the top grade stuff that they send to the U.S.
I bought 2 sirloin steaks the other day, Australian, Harvey beef.
Okay.
From where I used to live down there.
Yeah.
Tough as nails.
Yeah.
It was it was really awful.
Yeah.
I fed half of it to the dog.
Maybe the only part of the beef was that was Australian was the packaging.
I'm beginning to
knows?
think exactly that. Yeah, it was really tough.
Yeah. So you might miss that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I miss a nice steak.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get one, but you're gonna pay at least 1,000 baht for it.
Even then, it's not going to be like, okay, if you want to have the whole
Yeah, it might
filet
not be the
mignon
best.
experience at a fine restaurant, I mean, USA, they've got it knocked. It is quite the experience.
Yeah.
And it's going to be just okay, even at its best here.
But Damien, honestly, I've found steak over the years to be a lot worse now than it was. Everywhere, not just Thailand.
Well,
even in Australia, when I bought
yeah.
steak, it was hit and miss.
Well, they're giving them hormones so that they can ingest the corn they're feeding them and all that stuff, right?
Well, that, and when I first started working as a young fella doing my apprenticeship as a butcher,
right.
we used to slaughter the beef, skin it, gut it, and hang it for a week
Yeah.
before it was ever sold. And that meat was nice and tender.
It was aged.
It was aged.
Right. And my grandfather was a butcher,
Now
too.
they
Yeah,
don't
he
do
knew
that. They
Yep.
cut it, they gut it, they freeze it, send it off to someone else who cuts it up. and
That's a good point.
It's
Yeah.
all about money saving. Sorry about that, guys.
No, that's all right.
But
But yeah, it's good that we talked about things because, when it comes to what you miss when you relocate to Thailand, that could be one of them if you're from the U.S.
yeah, and lamb. Oh, I miss lamb.
No.
But lamb here is so expensive.
Mm.
I mean, you're going to pay a lot of money for a leg of lamb. And I don't know how they can call it lamb because I was looking at a leg the other day. I was thinking about buying one at Macro.
Yeah.
The leg was that long.
Oh.
You can see it all? Yeah. about what's that, about 50 centimeters? Maybe 40? I don't know. But it's a bit more than a lamb.
Yeah.
That was a jumbuck. Put it in your tucker bag. Okay, next. Chinese exports.
Well, that kind of falls along the same line of, and a friend of mine, Dave, he made mention of this, that a lot of Chinese exports that are imported to Thailand are not of the same quality as what you get in the U.S. The U.S. gets the highest quality of Chinese and other exports. And I'll give an example of razor blades. So, for example, you just can't seem to, even if you buy the same brand that you think you're getting, it's just not the same quality of steel. And so if you just want to shave, it's not as good. So what did I stock up on? Harry's razors. Yeah, I bought a few of them, put them in my my big suitcase because I could get them there. But when I was, I'll circle back to that. But the another thing is electronics. For example, anything that comes with a rechargeable battery. Have you find that they don't last very long if you get them here?
I don't think that I've bought much that I would,
Oh, okay.
except for my camera.
Yeah.
But, I got 3 batteries for that just in case.
Maybe so, yeah. And so you're not, you just, anything that you're buying like that. So another thing, so I can, shave my lovely scalp and get it just right. For my hairdresser is a Norelco, and so I got a new one while I was there in the U.S.
Norelco?
Yeah, Panasonic.
How old is she?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So, the thing I wanted to circle back to.
You think the products they send to America from China are a different quality to what they send here?
I think very often the case.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just the formulations, they may look exactly the same, have the same brand, model number, everything, but it's just of a lower quality because a lot of the Thai people, can't blame them, they're shopping by price. And so they need to make a more affordable unit. So they just don't have available. If you're kind of finicky about your razors or something like that, then they don't have it. But what was the thing I wanted to circle back to on the Chinese export? Oh, when I'm buying the razor blades, I'm at a Walmart, which is a very big chain in the U.S. And this is Reno, Nevada, right? Not a big city, say a medium-sized city. Not only were the razors under lock and key behind a glass, so that people couldn't steal them, put them in their pockets. Lots of things were. Whole shelves were under lock and key with plexiglass doors. Even deodorant. Now think about it. If you're homeless, wouldn't it be nice to have some deodorant? and some clean socks and things like that, So, I don't know. I guess they've just had so much theft going on, they have to. But not only that, but I had to get a Walmart representative to come over with their key, open up the thing, get the deodorant out, and put it in another plexiglass box. Yeah, a little box that I would take, and they would remove it at the cashier, and could have deodorant.
Wow.
Yeah, really. And boy, I understand it's worse in the big cities where theft is really rampant, and a lot of stores are closing. That's another issue. But Chinese imported products, or just a lot of products, are of a higher quality there, but they're under lock and key.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, finally, my favorite food in the whole wide world. But you gave 3 words, and there's only 2 of them that I like. Mexican food.
Oh.
And you added Americanized.
Well, Americanized Mexican food, yeah.
Is this something that you missed, or something that you...
Well, if you've had good Mexican food in the U.S. Or in Mexico, a lot of times it's made for the Mexican palate. But because there are a lot of, expats from Mexico that are now living in the U.S. and they're taking jobs in restaurants to prepare Mexican food, they prepare it for the American palate, so they change it a little bit. It's got more, it's a little denser. It's got more of a, there's a lot more cheese and those type of things they're using in it. But it is quite delicious, and it is not done well for the most part here in Thailand. Very rare to get it. One thing you would be very hard pressed to find is an actual corn tortilla, not a flour tortilla. Macro.
I saw them yesterday.
No, you told me this.
Yeah.
You saw flour tortillas.
No.
No way.
I was there yesterday.
Okay.
And they now have the little corn tortillas.
My tummy just rumbled because there's no way. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there. And
in the frozen section,
Okay.
back near where they sell the meat, on that strip there.
I'm there today, and I'll tell you, I even brought back corn tortillas with me as gifts for friends, but I won't tell them they can get it at the Macro. Macro's kind of like the Costco where you have to buy in bulk kind of thing. But the one thing I brought back from my storage area in the U.S. is an iron tortilla warmer that is fully seasoned because it's never been washed, and so I use it to warm the tortilla. Just 2 minutes on each side, makes it perfect. And so now I'm out of tortillas. I got a warmer. Guess I better go hit the Macro. But Americanized Mexican food is quite a delicacy. Not a lot of towns have it really good. My daughters live up in Seattle, and they said, well, our best Mexican restaurant is still just okay. But yeah, down in further south, you get areas like Reno, really quite good. So, yeah.
I think in Chiang Rai, the closest thing you're going to get to Americanized Mexican food is at a place called Food Wishes.
I've been there several times. Yeah, and they do a good job.
It's pretty good.
They have a good enchilada.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And the price is good, 99 baht.
As long as you don't get it delivered by Grab.
Oh,
I understand the Grab prices they just went up. So, yeah. But that's the 10. But can we close out with just kind of a general observation of something that is different for me now that I've done a year here in Thailand, went to the U.S., had a visit, come back, and signed up for another year. Can I share that?
If you'll give me 1 minute.
1 minute.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do, check the battery?
A 1 minute pause.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I'll find that 1 minute and edit it out.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. What you wanted to bring up something in closing?
I don't think he's even going to edit that out. I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I will.
You will? Okay. All right. I would say signing up for the second year, because I look at it differently now. I don't look at it I don't feel like I am a citizen of the United States. I represent the United States while I'm abroad. And I don't feel like that. I feel like a citizen of the world. I feel like I'm an expat right now. is working great. Things could change, right? The whole visa situation could change. Economics, the exchange rate, things could change drastically. So I don't know. I do know that I've signed up for another year, but now I have a little bit more resolve to it. I'll give an example. I'll call it the bath towel example. And that is when I first got here and I needed to kind of stock up my place with things I needed some bath towels. So I went down to the Big C, which is kind of an equivalent to America's Walmart. And I bought the cheapest bath towels because I'm like, okay, my mindset was buy for a year. If they get threadbare by a year, which they have, then yeah, that's where it's at. But now you want to know where I'm going shopping for towels now that I've been here in my second year?
I could guess, but I'll let you divulge that information.
I'm going down to the Central Mall and I'm going to walk right into the Robinsons and I'm going to buy some quality bath towels.
Well, you'll certainly pay for it.
Yeah, I will, but hopefully they'll last a little longer. So, yeah, that's kind of my take. It's like just the bath towel example is like I'm more committed to being here than I was before. And it's a good feeling. Expat life is working out as I had hoped and in some ways better. So
see, your approach to this whole thing was entirely different to mine.
How's that?
Well, your plan when you came out here was to stay a while. If you like it, stay a while longer. Stayed a year. And now you've come back and you're kind of thinking, well, it looks okay and maybe I could be a little longer. But when I came out, I was committed. I was committed to staying here from day one.
You burned your bridge.
No, I didn't burn my bridge. There wasn't a bridge to burn.
Burned your ship?
There wasn't a bridge to burn.
What's the metaphor? Burning the ships.
Burning the ships. Well, who did that? That was one of the conquistadors that did that.
Yeah. Okay.
He burned the ships so they had no way back.
Right.
But I didn't come out here on a trial run, and I don't know. I just accepted it right away that I was here. I didn't have to think about it. That was a commitment I made.
My mother asked me, if money were no object, do you think you'd move back home to the USA? And I said, well, I started to answer this question and said, well, if money were no object, then I would have a dacha in Moscow and a condo in Belize, and if money were no object. But the fact of the matter is, money is an object, and if I went back to the U.S. and I was living day to day, first of all, I'd have to go back to working full time, and
that's a sickening thought, isn't it?
So, yeah, it is. It is. Well,
Although sometimes I must admit I'd like to be back working because life can get bloody boring.
I hear you. I was getting a little bored when I got back, and now I've started back at the Thai language school. I got a wooden puzzle kit that I'm working on. My little band, we're starting to play music again together when one of our other members shows up. So my day's getting full again, and it was good to slow down and be bored and just digest the whirlwind adventure trip that I had to the USA, and now I feel like I'm back to a pretty active lifestyle.
Right. Well, I think we've set a record in time on this conversation.
Not bad for one page.
Maybe I should have only asked about 5 of these observations. But anyway, anything else?
I think we're good.
You think we're good?
Yeah. Happy Buddha Day to everybody. For those of you into cryptocurrency, happy Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Yeah. Look that one up. That's fun.
Yeah. And for the rest of you, happy Wednesday.
Sawadee krap.
Yeah. Sawadee krap.
Bye-bye.